Now again, I'm using Arches 300 pound cold press. It tends to hold up a lot better with the wear and tear of these guys. Since they are a stick form, they're a little bit rougher on the paper, and you can definitely beat this up, especially Arches. You can definitely beat up the paper pretty good. It definitely is very resilient. So that's why I noticed, especially when you're doing a lot of wet washes, you want to make sure that you have plenty of paper there, kind of soaks up all that paint and doesn't tear up the tooth too much. And since 300 pound is pretty heavy already, it's great for that. So I'm just taping down my piece of paper here. I'm going to start with a light color. Since it is still watercolor, the rules still kind of apply. So I did sharpen the new gamboge here. I'm going to start with just an initial drawing, and that's the greatest thing about it is I can start drawing. You want to, if you see your drawings or you don't want to have pencil lines, that kind of stuff, this is great because you're just drawing with just watercolor. I actually started just painting just with the brush and just going from there. But this is great, the fact that you can draw with it. Okay, so I'm just going to put in just enough detail so I can kind of see where the composition is. On this dry paper, this is really fun. It's a nice little texture to it. I kind of do enjoy the feel of it. It kind of brings you back to when you used to, draw with crayons. That's what I kind of feels like. And so it comes back to that, when you were a kid, just finding something that was so enjoyable. So right now I'm just kind of roughing in the shapes. I'm not too worried about just trying to get the composition down. You can mix different colors in here. But again, I just like to get the rough placement of everything before I start going. So I'm starting with the new gamboge, really yellow. And I'm going to pick up here Hansa Yellow Medium. Gives me a little lighter yellow. I'm just going to put in the big shapes. And again, this is just dry here. I'm pretty much just seeing where the composition's taking me here. Kind of a rough idea what I'm looking at, but it necessarily doesn't have to be the same thing that you have on a picture or see in front of you. Definitely work with the composition. Make your eye flow through the painting. Picking up some red here. Just, again, just kind of getting some dark colors in here. And I love this quinacridone coral, like I said, because it goes down to a beautiful, nice, like pink. And since I'm a guy, I really don't want to have pink in my palette, right? So I just have this thing, which is a nice, beautiful red, and it can go down to a pink. But I can say, hey, that's a quinacridone coral, it's not a pink. That's just how I do it. So, but it's a very good, very versatile color. I use it a lot for my flesh tones. I'm going to grab brown here, see which one I'm picking up. It's quinacridone gold, another one of my favorite colors. Notice I'm just filling up the paper right now, just getting the initial sketch. And they all draw about the same. They really are fun to draw with. Now I don't want, you don't want to go more than a couple layers, a couple different colors. You want to keep them the same warm tone because a lot of times you're not going to get the mixes you want if you start adding blues and those kind of things. So I suggest going for just the basic browns or warmer tones and going from there. Okay. You're probably wondering what I'm drawing, right? This is a Day of the Dead scene. I picked a picture that was very colorful. It's kind of like my shirt, very colorful. When I wear this shirt, it makes me feel like I'm Mexico again. So again, I'm just laying down color. Notice I'm just using big broad strokes. I'm not trying to be very delicate with it. This thing is just, and as I'm drawing, I'm putting a lot of pigment on here. Even though it looks like it's just very light, once I add the water to this, you're just going to be just popping with color. So I want to be very careful not to fill too much of the paper up because this stuff will extend amazingly. And again, the harder you press on this, the more it's going to fall into the grooves of the paper itself. So you can also use a hot press paper that the actual stick won't actually put too much pressure on the paper, so it won't fall into the grooves. A lot of times you'll see a little bit of texture in there. I kind of enjoy the texture. Doesn't bother me. But if you're worried about that, I suggest then using a hot press paper. So you won't actually see a lot of those grooves. Okay. All right, now I have just kind of a basic idea where I want things to be.